Buenos dias. Welcome to another E2T morning show with Jamie. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is November 27th. Truly appreciate it. Hopefully, you are up and refreshed this morning and ready for a profitable trading day. Let's hop in and check out what we got going on for our pre-market. The Dow futures is up 0.08%. The S&P futures and NAS futures are both down. 0.08% for the S&P futures, and NAS futures is down 0.25%. Of course, today is I would classify it as an important day in terms of possible volatility. Stock futures are a little changed as Wall Street awaits Fed's preferred inflation reading. Europe, all down. European markets subdued amid a tariff threat. Ain't that something? Asia is mixed. Nikkei is the only one that's down, though. Last reported 0.80%, 0.80%. Obviously, they got their own thing going on over there, but Asia Pacific markets mixed as investors assess China industrial profits. Australia inflation data. ASX 200 is Australia. So they have their data, just like we got our data, that they are going to be assessing. VIX is down 0.92%, which means it's down negligibly. It is at 13.97. Last reported for our indexes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 0.28%. S&P 500 was up 0.57%, and the NASDAQ was up 0.63%. So everybody was up and up under about 1%, definitely under 1%. For today, in terms of the earnings, now this is where we always kind of get confused when it comes to the tickers. So this ticker right here is Golden Ocean, is GOGL. So for those who are used to typing in Google, we normally would be typing in GOOGL for Google. But it's crazy how a lot of these tickers will be so close together. QSG, ARBE, Coalplant, and Hafnia. Before market open, they are all reporting today. Nothing after the close for today. 3 items, actually 2 items Friday before the open. All right. Good morning, Lady T. Good morning, Jermaine. Good morning, Tamar. Appreciate you guys tuning in. By the way, if it's your first time, this is the Educator the Trader morning pre-market show. I am Jamie Irvin, part of the E2T ecosystem. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. So for our ForexFactory, we had already reported the preliminary. We had 2 red folders. Preliminary GDP, that's gross domestic product, quarter over quarter, and the unemployment claims, both red folders. Neutral impacts on the economy. Orange folders were core durable goods, orders month over month, the durable good orders month over month, and the preliminary GDP price index quarter over quarter. All right. The durable goods orders month over month was down slightly. The goods trade balance was the yellow folder, positive impact on the economy or economics, or however you want to phrase it. Preliminary wholesale inventories month over month was down slightly. We have the Chicago PMI, an orange folder, coming up at 9:45. Okay. Chicago PMI, orange folder. At 10 o'clock, we have a red folder, core PCE price index month over month. Orange folder, pending home sales month over month. And then 2 yellow folders, which one is personal income month over month and personal spending month over month. 10:30, we have another orange folder, which is crude oil inventories. So you already know when we get to investing.com, we can expect a list under here. At noon, natural gas storage, yellow folder. All right. So from now until what we would normally call the 10 o'clock turnaround, we can expect that there be something possibly happening with all this up in here doing its thing. Okay. So we won't go through and repeat the ones that we already repeated. However, I will highlight the 2 stars and the 3 stars that are coming up. So the Chicago PMI over here is 3 stars. The core PCE price index month over month for October, 3 stars, as well as the year over year for October. All right, core PCE price index. So all of those PCEs is 2 stars. Pending home sales was 2 stars. Personal spending month over month for October is 2 stars over here. And then the crude oil inventory is 3 stars over here. And this was the list that I was talking about, over on ForexFactory. It'll just say crude oil inventories. But over here on investing.com, it'll give us a much longer list, much more detailed, if you will, of other things that are going in under that. But you got the Cushing crude oil inventories, which is separate from crude oil inventories, right? So the Cushing crude oil inventories, that's 2 stars over here. And then we also have at 1 o'clock, 7-year note auction, Atlanta Fed GDP Now, which should be familiar to some of us who have been on this stream in the morning. We usually end up mentioning that about once a week. U.S. Baker Hughes oil rig count is 2 stars, again, 1 o'clock. And U.S. Baker Hughes total rig count is at 1 o'clock. That's 2 stars as well. All right, so I'll say what I always say. There's not always a direct correlation between something being 2 stars over here versus an orange folder on the other site. They decide to categorize these how they see fit in terms of impact. So it may not be an equal, this equals that, but our goal is to make sure we're at least aware of what the possible impact is so we can prepare for it when it comes to our charts. All right. So that's what we got for that. We got some things to look out for, definitely till 10:30. So we'll at the very least till 10:30, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. So happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Janae, good morning. Alyssa, Drew, good morning. So here we go for Mancini. The grind up continues in SPX. I posted at noon yesterday, hold runners. A trend move will come with 6,007, 6016, 6026 next targets, and tagged 6026 exact. So the plan today is 6,006 support. Tested 1 time already. Keeps, if it keeps. 6018, 6024 is live. Break out to 6073 and above. If 6,006 fails, we dip to 5997, 5982. 5997, 5982. Okay. All right. So we have support at 6,006, which technically that would be right there. But I got the word support on here, so we're going to do 6,006. We will look at triple Q immediately. Hello there, Nankali. All right. 6018 and 6024 is live. Let's put that on there. 6018. 6024. Right? So yeah, have a good visual for this. 6,006. Actually, we got 6,006 as support. So what we'll do with this is just make this a 5. So we know that this is going to require, put an arrow in here. I don't know if it'll let me do it, but I'll put an arrow in here pointing down. So we know that that's the support. This is the one is, if it drops, it drops. We're looking at 59.97 and 59.82. 59.97 and 59.82. Right? That's what we have. These are the Mancini numbers. Of course, the breakout to 60.73 is higher. So let's go up here. 60.73. And I'll even just mark that as a target. Something like that. And we'll put that on the chart. That's what we got. It's way up there. And yesterday, the numbers from yesterday, it seemed getting up that high was a lot of space, and it reached it at the top. So, all right. So we got the support. This is the one that we're waiting. Anything going below this, these are the targets. All you're looking at with these other lines, this is yesterday's high, previous day high, and this right here is previous day low. All right. So we started off with a gap. But this morning, obviously, we haven't moved 15 minutes worth, but we'll more than likely push up into that. But I like to at least put something on the chart to begin with to get us started. All right. So this is SPX. This is Thinkorswim. This is the 15-minute chart. And we will put these Mancini numbers in our Telegram group. They are in the tier 3 currently, and I believe weekly options already. All right. Q. Let's see what Triple Q is talking about. Triple Q is kind of just hovering. Based on what I'm looking at right now, there's a couple different things that look interesting here. First of all, obviously, we're just now getting started in our trading day. So I would highly not advise any of us, we just give a little bit of time. But what I'm seeing is it's in between zones. Buyer zone up here. I'm sorry, seller zone up here, buyer zone down here. There are some buyers that seem to be sitting in here. We are above a gap, first of all, right there. I can actually move this up. So we're above a gap right here, but this right here, these 3, 1, 2, and 3, shows me there's a strong reaction of buyers in this zone. So this should be interesting as it may be making its way back down, right? As of right now, of course, the trend is the highs currently are heading down, right? So I will be looking to do a call credit spread because this is a trend line heading down. This looks like it is definitely dropping, or at least starting to drop. Obviously, we don't have to. This is today, so we don't have a third leg. But in terms of our moving averages, overall, the moving averages are saying support on the daily. So this is support. The overall highs are heading down. So this is looking like one of those. Let's see. I will put this on. I don't even know which one of these. That could be symmetrical triangle, because the highs are coming down and the lows are going up. Symmetrical triangle is a continuation. So it would not surprise me if this gets over here and ends up popping back up. But in terms of what we need for our numbers, or what we'll be looking at to at least get a peek at what's happening. So I'm expecting it to be low volume today and probably possibly Friday. Just me. But the numbers that I'll be looking at, this will be a one spread. So I would be looking in the 510 range. Is that right? Yeah, possibly here in 509, but let's say 510. That'll be 10 cents or $10 collected on a one spread, which is $100 collateral. So that's 10% return on collateral. I'll be looking at. That's what I'll be looking at from that standpoint. All right. And of course, based on the fact that it's sitting right here in the middle, you know, I'll be watching to see what happens today, but I don't see why an iron condor wouldn't be considered later on in the day. But of course, I'm also keeping in mind we got a bunch of stuff happening in terms of volatility. So we definitely want to keep that in mind, okay? We do not want to jump the gun on that. All right. I see. Let's take a look at Microsoft. See what Microsoft got to say. So we know at least this early, there's 10% return on collateral if we're looking at triple Q. All right. We'll look at Microsoft. Let's look at SPY first. Actually, let's look at the other index. All right. We're going to look at Russell. This is the 15-minute breakout coming up. Russell also gapped up. Gapped right through a gap. It was already there. So we'll do it this way. Just wait and see what happens in terms of what its breakout is doing. And keep it moving it that way. All right. Look at SPY, which of course is going to look a lot like these others. So here's what we got. We are at all-time highs on SPY. Okay, so it's at the point now where there's not a clear seller's level unless you start digging into, let's say, this wick right here, something like that. Once it got past here, now you got a whole other thing happening. So the only thing that I can say based on what I'm looking at is put credit spread is what I'll be looking at first, since it is pushing up. And I personally like as close to 80% as possible. So on $100 collateral, this is a one spread, 13 cent or $14 collected. It's about 14% return on collateral. So I would be looking at that, but this is 598. 598 is right here in this area, just to give it some context. All right. So yeah, triple Q, definitely looking iron condor-ish. I would also be watching out here. For those who, look at the candle formations, I would definitely be interested to see what happens on this one today, because if this candle ends up with indecision today, this we can't assume that this is going to go down. We're used to seeing this formation. I think it's called the evening star. We're used to seeing a formation like this where it's a leg in base and then the leg out, and usually that leg out comes down. But if there's indecision here, this can always also be a leg up and be a cheer formation as well. So in terms of anything long term, I would I don't know if I would do anything. Personally, I wouldn't even try to hold anything through tomorrow myself, but Friday might be a mixed bag. But with what we have left for the rest of the day today, I'm not so sure holding on to too much anything would be safe. Good morning, Ward. All right, so us. All right, so what we got here. So this is the buyer zone. We have charted this in the past. So leg in, I did 3 in the base on this one and the leg out. But right now, what I'm seeing is closer to price. This looks to be like a chair formation. Okay. All right. So leg in, base, leg out. And I'm making this a dash because the current price is close to it. And I will say this as well. Many times when we are talking about these candle formations, we reference the engulfing candle. And normally the engulfing candle is on the other side of this candle. This would be the engulfing candle. I'm looking to see if there's an example of an engulfing candle, especially in the especially when it's coming down from the seller zone. This probably would be considered one. The body of this candle is engulfing the body of this middle one, for example. See that? So this body is being engulfed by that body. Same thing right here. The body of this candle is being engulfed by the body of the next candle. Those type of things tend to work better when it's in a particular zone, buyer zone or seller zone. But one thing I will say is people forget also that the word wouldn't be and people don't like the word engulfing in this situation, but the one thing to work to, keep an eye out for is in the zones, you may see a formation like this where your leg in, quote unquote, leg in candle is also, quote, engulfing this middle candle. And I've also been seeing that could also signal in the seller zone, that could also be one of the signals for bearish as well. So when we look at bearish, we normally look at it like the other side, but keep in mind that with some of these, whether or not your candle, your leg in candle, leg out candle was a bearish or bullish candle can be a factor. But in this case, I would definitely say I'm definitely going to be watching this scenario to see if this is going to be a bearish one, because it's having trouble getting up past this gap. It has a gap that it's trying to fill. So I'll definitely be paying attention to it. But I have seen, I guess you could say, watch the price cover on both sides of that base candle and seeing some of the same effects, right? So let's take a look at MSFT. And so in this case, since it's trying to push up, I'll be keeping an eye on it, but I'll be looking at the put credit spread first. Now, again, we still got some stuff that's happening, left in the day. Some would argue, that holding something through Thanksgiving may or may not be in your best interest. I have no recommendations, reference points, suggestions, none of that. What I do know is that what I do expect is that the volume will tend to be low during this time. Folks is on vacation doing their thing. So like in this case, this is the 29th. So this is for Friday's expiration. This is a 2.5 spread. And it's only, I'm seeing $13 while it's trying to push up. Push up meaning price is trying to increase. So that's 87% out the money. Now, obviously, if you decide you want to get closer, not something that I like, but you would get over 20, over 10% return. So that's $250. That would be $32. 78% out the money. Do your thing. All right. This is funny. We appreciate you. So one day I'll fly over so I can taste peach cobbler and pumpkin pie. Enjoy Thanksgiving, everyone. We appreciate you. She's in South Africa, everybody. Those of you not in the know. So anytime you hear me say the Queen of South Africa, that is who I'm referencing. Nankali Ruche. Right? So that puts us 17 will be in there. 2017, yep. 420 to 417. Yep, 17 will be down in here. So, and there's a gap above it. I honestly do not expect very high premiums on today. 429. Since we do have, I do see above price. This is almost 80% out the money. It's over 75%. 2.5 spread, 36 cents or $36 collected on a 2.5 spread. Right now, I'll just be investigating. But that is what that is showing this early in the day. All right. So you could definitely say this would be a possible iron condor opportunity. However, whether or not you will be satisfied with the premiums might be a totally different argument. But we do have a gap up here, 430. It's right there. E2. Yeah. You did 432.5. 432.5 will be in here. So you'll be literally in the gap right there. Right? Okay. We can switch these colors up. The last time that I was on and charted NVIDIA, like we had to use the 4-hour for that at some point. If it wasn't last time, it was at some point in the past. I only know that because these lines are orange, which is 4 hours, 4-hour on this chart. So leg in, tune the base, leg out. We were talking about this ugly extra price action right here on that candle. So this has gone through the buy zone here, which at the time looked like a strong enough buyer zone. This is a great buyer zone formation. Even had a tiny bit of a gap up. With this right here, took some stuff out. So that's what we're start here. We'll just put in where the gap is first. Then we'll hop on over to options chain in a second. Right, so there's a gap right here. This is falling. As a matter of fact, might as well do this while we're here. The other gap. This should look familiar to some of us because we had a discussion about this formation in the past. Question was, what were we going to do about this in terms of calling this a cheer or not? Open this up. In terms of calling this a cheer or not, this is a strange little formation. Leg in, tune the base, leg out. But the sellers pushed this down. So I remember that being like a little weird situation. But we have a couple gaps under it. So NVIDIA, since it is currently falling, or it looks like it's falling, and I say looks like because I've gotten bitten before. The majority of the moving averages, so 950, 9, 20, 30, and 50. So the main ones that I use, they are above price. Price is reacting off of this 50. I only use 50 because that's the one that Peakbot uses. It will just kind of make sense. So I'll be looking at a put credit spread for this. I'm saying that wrong. Call credit spread. I'll be looking at the call credit spread for this. And again, this volume is not all that great. What I'm looking at is a one spread collecting about $12. Again, getting in right now, I don't know with all we got left through the day. Definitely up till 1 o'clock, but this in general, if you're just looking at possible numbers, one spread, 12% return on collateral is what that is. All right. Looking at on that side. Because these moving averages are holding it down. They are holding it down. Okay. Let's swing back and look to see for our 15-minute breakout if there has been a breakout. This is Russell. And it looks like it's trying to break out of Russell. Russell's morning 15-minute breakout. So it popped up. And the seller said, not so, not today, Satan. So this hasn't been fully broken out yet for Russell 2000. And let's look at SPX. SPX. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. First 15 minutes. It has not broken out of that yet. All right, so this will still be something to watch for SPX. Get down a little bit. About that much space left. Okay, so that's what we're working with so far. Janae said, is this the buy time for NVIDIA before it goes back up? I am not the person to be able to answer that question. I can't say that I feel like NVIDIA has pulled back enough. But where it's pulling back to is almost where it was, in October? So I guess if you consider that a buy. But I don't know. I kind of feel like there's no reason why it couldn't drop a little bit more. If it's true that what our lesson says, nature abhors a vacuum, that means we have a gap right here. If this thing, the low of this one is 132.11, and the low of this is 128.74. So it's already close to breaking past those two. I don't know if right now would be a buy. But I'm not an expert on that side of the equation. At least not with NVIDIA. I can say that it's a company that I definitely expect to keep rising up, though. That part I can say. To recap our current indexes, the Dow Jones is up 0.15%. The S&P 500 is down 0.11%, and the NASDAQ is down 0.44%. Russell 2K is up the most, 0.95%. The VIX is down 0.14%. It is at 14.07. All righty. Option Seller Zone membership, where you can learn to trade. You can learn, trade, profit the seller's way. We are a community of sellers. Definitely a supportive community for trading. I can definitely tell you that. Profitable strategies for less screen time, daily profits to grow your account. Training and support, educator2trader.com. That's the number 2. Educator2, like dose, trader.com. Swing by there, join the membership. We have a Telegram group, which I was referencing earlier. We put a lot of our information in there. Our E2T daily declaration: by faith, I am a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. Don't forget, Chicago PMI, right? Just happened. Now We're making our way towards the crude oil inventories at 10:30. I would highly encourage you to keep an eye out on this investing.com website so you'll be aware of what's going down. But just remember, 1 o'clock, we still have 2-star events with the 7-year note auction, the Atlanta Fed, GDP Now, U.S. Baker Hughes oil rig count, and the U.S. Baker Hughes total rig count. Right? I'm not saying that this is going to be earth-shattering, but with lower volume overall, it seems anything could be a catalyst for something happening. So we want to make sure we're at least aware of those things. Okay. E2T Daily Prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Okay, people. I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. And listen, do me a favor. If you know somebody who's single, drop them off a plate or something. Okay. Don't make them have to ask you for a plate. Drop a single person off a plate. Let them keep the single folks in mind. Okay. That's number one. Number two, if you know somebody that's without family, right, that don't have relatives and or have lost relatives, send them a text message. Matter of fact, drop them off a plate too. Now that I'm thinking about it. But make sure you look out for the those who don't have big families, or I wouldn't even say big families, but any type of support system for families, right? Because the holidays is very difficult for some people. I can tell you that from experience. So make sure please be kind to those who don't have the same type of family structure, or feel like they don't have as much to give thanks for as others. That's another way of looking at it. Be the person that they can give thanks for. How about that? So you all have a great holiday. We will see you. Believe the market is open on Friday, so we're going to be here on Friday. All right. In the meantime, we want you to stay green and get this money, right? Collect these dollars. We will be in the Telegram group. The Mancini numbers are already in the Telegram group. So you all have a great trading day, a profitable trading day, a happy and joyous Thanksgiving. And we will talk to you all on our next live. Okay? Adios.